Foundation, by the way. Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Speaking of Foundation, Skull and Bones, I want to find the article, and apparently from Yong, a third director was lost. Hold on.
Just recently, the most recent director just got let go or quit. I don't know.
I honestly I would quit. It's been 8 years.
There was a
God.
there was a closed beta for this game like a couple of weeks ago. I saw Ko playing it like a little bit. I watched him for, I don't know, maybe half an hour or something like that. It looked really boring.
Yeah. Haven't heard
this
that.
Game,
yes, this is a disaster.
And yeah, and I didn't know this after I watched this Young video. Apparently they can't cancel this game because they have some sort of deal with like the government of Singapore. I guess they got some money probably for the project from like Singapore's government or something like that. So they literally can't cancel it. Like they've rebooted it like 3 or 4 times already, but the game has to come out eventually because they made a deal with the government of Singapore with this game. So Omega lol.
Imagine being a government and funding a video game like this. Just first off, wow. Singapore, you took the biggest L possible.
I mean, I think it's being developed like mostly by a Ubisoft studio that's in Singapore, so maybe there's a reason there, but
that government took an L.
Yeah, no, they did. I mean, I'm sure Ubisoft would love to cancel this game because it's gonna be a piece of shit when it comes out. There's just no way. And nobody's excited for this game. Everybody knows it's gonna be a piece of shit.
Each new regime would try to push its own mark. Fundamental questions like, do you play as a pirate or do you play as a boat? What the fuck kind of question is that? I get what they're trying to say here.
Oh yeah, they're trying to say is are you an actual pirate captain, or are you just
This isn't hard. You just had to make Sea of Thieves and call it a Ubisoft game. This wasn't actually that hard for you to think about the concept. You play as a pirate. That's your answer. It should have been super easy, actually. You play as a pirate. That was your answer. Play as a boat. Yeah. This is not Assassin's Creed. In Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, you were the boat. You were the boat. This is not that game. I thought this was supposed to be a multiplayer game where you put a crew together. I thought that was the concept. So you play as a pirate.
Oh, that was the concept at one point. That's not the concept anymore. They scrapped that. It's now like an open world pirate game where you collect resources. No. It's like a survival pirate game where you collect resources. It's like Ark Survival Evolved.
Yeah.
You're
a pirate then. You'd have to be a pirate.
Oh yeah, you're a pirate.
You'd play as the pirate singularly. You're not when you don't command your own boat. You have a boat that you have a crew with, and everybody. Well, I think it's your boat technically, but
yeah.
But you bring your friends, and it's a crew, and that's the point. So you play as a pirate. And if you're collecting resources in a survival game, what's the survival game for the boat? Oh, I got to go pick up some wood so I can heal the boat. No, it's the pirate. The pirate goes to different islands in the Caribbean or something, and you go off the boat. That's the survival part. So you're a pirate.
You gotta collect wood. You gotta collect wood for the boat, and then you can make You can gotta get metal for cannons and.
This isn't a hard question, Ubisoft team. I could answer it. I have no experience in game design or development, and I could answer that for you. Play as a pirate. Go play Sea of Thieves for an hour. That's your game. Just call it Ubisoft. Just call it your Ubisoft game. But this wasn't hard. You play as the boat. Dude, they brought some people over from Assassin's Creed, and they just shouldn't have.
Well, apparently, originally the idea this game originally was supposed to be a DLC for Black Flag, just a little standalone, small expansion, and then it turned into its own game, a pirate MMO, and then that online multiplayer thing that they showed off a while ago. and now they rebooted it again, and it's like this survival. Like, this game has gone through like the development hell of all. This game is like the Duke Nukem Forever of like modern games. Like, this game is gonna be the biggest. This game will eventually come out because, again, apparently Ubisoft made a deal with the government of Singapore, so this game has to come out. I'm sure they would love to cancel it, but they can't. So this game will come out at some point, and it is gonna be a piece of crap. Like,
it's gonna be a piece of shit. It's gonna be a piece of shit. There's no doubt in my mind. This is gonna be a piece of shit.
I hope it's not. I hope somehow that they put it together and it works. And even if it is good, I doubt it will sell well because nobody cares about this anymore. Like,
every time we got feedback from Paris, which is where I imagine the main headquarters is, they would freak out and change everything, and then change the people working on it, and that happened multiple times.
Good job, Ubisoft. Great management. Yeah, no. Lol. Skull and Bones, lol.
What does this say? It says, today, this was last year. They said, we have therefore decided to push our this was a last year thing, so this is old, obviously. Push the launch date to March 9th, 2023. That's the biggest Omega Law ever. That's the biggest Omega Law I think I've ever read. Wait. We also learned that it will be the first of Ubisoft published games to retail at $70. Wow. Imagine scamming people this hard. Imagine this kind of scam. Like, here's this turd. When you want to pay $70 for it, what a scam.
Well, I bet you the new Assassin's Creed is going to be $70, right? I would think so. And
probably
that'll come out before this does.
That it's probably going to be $70, but at least it'll be a video game. This will be a turd in a bag. Yeah. Probably lit on fire on my front doorstep.
This game is
maybe they thought $70
something
from buying and finding out it was shit. That's a good idea. That's a great plan. If you put the price point high enough, nobody will buy it, and you just be like, oh well, nobody wanted it. Singapore government, sorry. Whoops. I don't know.
Yeah, this game's a disaster.
I got nothing else for this one. This is
no, me neither. We've talked about it a few times before. I saw this video the other day. I was like, yeah, cool.
Collector's edition, the game actually comes out. If we get 100 people to buy the collector's edition, we'll release the game. Anyway, okay, we're jumping to another video here. Oh my, Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 shown to devs can use NVIDIA DLSS ray tracing and run Matrix Unreal Engine 5. Oh, look at that. My god. Are we going to get a Switch game that's going to look and play at more than 10 frames per second?
I mean, if the reports are to be believed, the new Switch is actually going to be like at least like last gen, so like PS4 level quality, but with like obviously DLSS's AI like upscaling, right?
Yeah.
From NVIDIA, which is gonna have that. And supposedly it's supposed to release next year.
Yes.
End of next year, second half of next year.
So we're gonna get a Switch 2. Will it be able to? I'm assuming they're gonna let it play all the old Switch games too.
The reports are that it's still going to use cartridges and then it will be backwards compatible with the Switch.
So the current Switch came out. I wonder what the memory is for this new one. I'm trying to.
Yeah, that we don't know about.
But... Oh boy.
I mean, minimum 500 gigabyte SSD for a new console. Like,
that's giving Nintendo a lot of credit.
It is.
I think I have a prediction for the storage: 100 gigabytes.
That's like one game. That's a joke.
100 gigabytes. 100.
That's a fucking joke.
That's my prediction.
That's literally one game.
It's gonna be 100, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh my god, dude, Switch!" I'm gonna look at that storage. It's gonna say 100 gigs, and I'm like, "Good luck with your 2 games. Good luck, pal." Okay, ultimately, like, jokes aside, I think a Switch that does run at a higher quality, if it ran consistently at 60 frames per second, I'm not going to complain at all. If it can somehow improve the quality of a game like Pokemon Scarlet, I'm in. Like, I'm in there. If it can get it to 60 frames per second, I'm in. If you can get that kind of game to 60, I'm in.
Look, Game Freak will find a way to still make Pokemon look like dog shit
If
on the
if the next Pokemon on the Switch 2 is not at a crisp 60 frames per second, 100% Game Freak needs to stop making Pokemon games. Go get somebody else. It will drive me insane.
Dude, okay, now that I think about it, I bet you the next mainline Pokemon game is gonna be a launch title if it comes out next fall. Like,
that won't be when the next mainline comes out. It'll have to be like a side
we'll have
one.
To be one more year. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're
No,
right.
mainline Pokemon games do not come out every 2 years. Sword and Shield came out
It was 3 years.
3 years ago. So we're gonna need to wait another 2 years for another mainline. We're gonna need to wait 2 years for Pokemon. What haven't they used now? Pokemon. Man, I don't even know what are they gonna use.
Purple and pink.
Yeah, purple and pink. There you go. You got it. Purple and pink. Pokemon Steel and whatever, something else. Steel and something. Steel and aluminum.
Brown.
Steel and aluminum.
Steel and aluminum. Yeah.
Pokemon Lobster and Crab. If it's Pokemon
Lobster and Crab,
day one buy the collector's edition. I'll buy both of them.
the double pack, yeah.
What are the legendaries? It's a lobster and a crab. Holy shit. They're actually being creative again.
Though I bet you Switch 2 games will cost $70 to $70.
Oh,
well, by the way, yeah.
Don't even tell me that.
I bet you they will.
That hurts me inside. Anyway,
look. If it's to be, we'll have to, believe it when I see it. But because the Switch is so outdated and such a piece of crap. But like, if they could pull this off, what people are reporting that like you're getting like at least PS4 quality, if not like in some cases up to like even like rivaling PS5 level quality on a handheld console with like decent storage space, that's gonna be awesome. Like, obviously Nintendo uses like particular art styles with like most of their games that make them still look pretty good on the Switch, but man, I cannot wait to see what Monolith does with like better technology, because they did awesome with what they had to work with on the Switch. Like,
if they can get to Xbox One or PS4 quality, I'll be good with that.
I'll be very happy with that. If they can go beyond that, that would be even better.
They're not going beyond that.
No, I agree with you. I think
if
I'm getting Xbox One / PS4 level quality, and like you get it has an SSD in there, so the load times are decent, and you have more than 32 gig. I mean, again, for me, minimum 500 gigabyte storage space, but we'll see.
100. And Nintendo's gonna go, and you'll like that. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy that crisp 100 gigabytes of space.
Again, these rumors have been swirling for a while about a Switch 2, so these aren't confirmed by Nintendo yet, but these seem pretty legit. They're saying this was shown behind closed doors at Gamescom and stuff like that, so I wonder when we'll actually, when Nintendo will actually announce it and when we'll see it. But yeah, well, we'll see. I'm excited, to be honest. Like, we need a Switch 2. We've needed a Switch 2 for a few years now, but
I'm very excited too to play the next mainline Pokemon at 30 frames per second. I think it'll be a big upgrade over 15.
Over 15, yeah.
I think over 15 will be a huge upgrade. And then maybe Nintendo can focus on figuring out their internet. I think there's just like some guy with a wrench that is their internet capabilities, just like banging on something to make it work.
Yeah, he doesn't even use the wrench.
He doesn't even use it. He kind of just like hits things. He's like, work faster, damn it. Come on. Maybe the windmills will run at a crisp 12 frames per second. 3x the speed.
Yeah.
Man.
and hopefully they will do something with the backwards compatibility that like upscales the Switch games as well. That like
I don't
makes
know,
them
yeah.
run better and like look better on the new Switch.
60 frames per second is all I'm asking for from
Yeah,
the
give me a 60 FPS.
60
like
FPS would be great.
Yeah.
And a battery life more than an hour.
Well, yeah, the battery, you know.
Like, all new, 60 frames per second, Nintendo Switch 2. What's the battery life? 30 minutes!
These handhelds, like, always struggle with battery life, to be honest. Like, the Switches isn't great. The Steam Decks, I've heard, is not very good
It's
either,
not.
So,
it's really bad. I can tell you it's really bad. You pretty much can't play that handheld for longer than, like, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
Depending on what game you're playing. So... I don't know. Switch 2 would be a good idea. I'm wondering about the price point. Obviously, the Switch, when it came out, was about $300 from what I remember.
Yeah, it hasn't really gone down. It's kind of hung right at $300. It's like always $300.
This is going to have to be higher.
Sale once in a while.
It's going to have to be higher. Obviously, it's.
I don't think they'd go. I don't think Nintendo would go higher than 400. To be honest, they like their consoles to be economical, but
they'll put it at 400. They'll put it at 400.
I can see it being like. I can see it being cheaper, being like 350 or something. But we'll. I agree. I think it will be 400, but I can see a world where it's less than that.
It'll be 350, and you'll get 50 gigabytes of storage. And if you want your extra 50, you'll need to pay an extra $100.
That's not worth
a compromise.
It at all.
That's a compromise.
Not worth it at all.
Nope, that's a compromise. Take that,
you can get like a terabyte SSD for $50. Like
okay, then no Mario. Then no Mario for you. No Zelda. That's what you get. If you don't want to pay the extra, $50 to $100 for my extra 50 gigabytes, you don't get Mario. That's what Nintendo's saying. They're like, okay, well, you don't get Mario, so you can't play the newest Zelda game. What do you think of that? I really hope it's 500 gigabytes storage, but I know Nintendo. I know them.
Well, I hope it's a terabyte, but I'm guessing 500.
They pulled out the Switch with 32 gigabytes of storage and said good enough. And I'm like, what do you mean good enough?
I'm pretty sure that's what the base Xbox 360 had as well. Like maybe it was 64.
That's still bad.
It's bad.
For today's
I'm not telling
standards.
you it's not bad.
For today's standards. The Xbox 360 also came out today?
Yeah, in 2003 or 4 or something like that.
The 360 came out so long ago. So that is that's a pretty scary standard there. That's pretty scary.
I mean, yes, I don't disagree with you, but that's like kind of the level that the Switch was at in terms of like power. I feel like is like maybe it's a little better than the 360, but maybe it's like PS3 level. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
My point is like Nintendo, like current gen consoles. If you buy a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, you get 1 terabyte. If you bought a PS4. A normal PS4, it's 500. So I'm guessing the Switch 2 will be 500. They'll be a generation behind. Right?
I think it's going to be lower.
Yeah, you might be right.
You're optimistic. I love your optimism here.
256 or 128, like
100. You'll get 100. Actually, 128 makes more sense. 128.
Well, but then it'll be 100 because the operating system takes some of the space on the drive, right?
So. Well, yeah, it does. It does take space. Yep. So there you go. That's what you'll get, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, yay!" And I'll be like, "Nintendo, you jerks! You did it again. You tricked me. You tricked me into thinking that you would give me better storage options." I don't know. Do you think the Switch even needs big storage at this point, though? Like, in all honesty, does it really need it? But still, like, it should definitely have more than 32.
The Switch.
The Switch 1 having 32 was always just hysterical to me.
I mean, yeah, it's hysterical and it's crap, but like the thing is for Switch, you can buy like a 128 SD card for like $20 or something, or like maybe it's 25, but like it's not expensive to get expanded memory for the Switch, right? So it's not really a big deal. Like it's a joke that the the Switch only has 32 internal, but like it's not a big deal to get expanded memory for the Switch. It's really cheap to get a 128 or a 256 SD card for the Switch, and that will. I've had a 128 SD card for the Switch for like 4 years, and I'm getting close to filling it up, but I still haven't filled it up yet, and I got a lot of digital games for the Switch.
Well, I get external memory is not hard to find. It's the fact that I have to find it.
I mean, yeah, again, I don't disagree with you, and I mean, it's still the case for like even the PS5, like, you know, okay, you get a terabyte, well, you really get like 800 because whatever, you just lose 200 for no fucking reason, but you know, that's like, I mean, they're like God of War's like 100 gigabytes, Final Fantasy's like 100 gigabyte, like that's like 8 games and you're done. Like
eight high quality first party releases.
eight AAA games and you're out of memory.
And you're out of memory, yeah.
So, you know, you kind of need expanded memory for that too. And you know, I know the PS5 has like they have an option to buy. You can buy expanded memory for the PS5.
Oh yeah, of course
you can buy like a 2 terabyte drive or something and install it, right?
Yeah, of course you can.
So it's just like it. Unfortunately, yeah, I wish they would put like a 2 terabyte or a 4 terabyte drive in those things, but you know, it's just kind of one of the things with modern gaming. You know, you're just gonna have to deal with getting expanded memory sometimes, or just deleting shit, because you know, digital games are so common these days, and they're big ass. If you want those like that high FPS and that super high resolution and that flashy shit, well, that's gonna increase the file size of that motherfucker. So
yeah,
you know.
I mean, shit, yeah. I mean, we've seen Call of Duty. So they increase that file size requirement as much as possible. They kill it. Absolutely. Baldur's Gate also killed it. It was like over 100 something.
Yeah, I think it was like 120 or 130 for
something
Baldur's
like that.
Gate. It's pretty crazy.
Anyway, Switch 2. God, please give me 30 or 60 FPS, please, and we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. And then from there, yeah, I can still play my old games on it, so that's good. Okay, Spoon. We're at 11:45.
Yep.
I think we should close things out. I know obviously we have comments on like Baldur's Gate and Sea of Stars and all that, but it's also almost noon, which is our hard stop. I guess, do you have anything else to add before we start running things down mid?
No, I don't have anything else to talk about other than, as you mentioned, Sea of Stars and Baldur's Gate, which, you know, we can defer, or we can talk about them briefly for 10 minutes.
I mean, we can spend 10 minutes on it, for sure. I just wasn't sure how hard, what the stop was.
No.
Oh, man. Which one? Pick. Flip a coin. Which one do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know how much you have to say about Baldur's Gate. I don't have much to say about it more, because we have talked about it very, very quickly, or quite extensively, excuse me, last week.
Yeah, no, I have nothing to say.
I played a little bit more this week, maybe like 5 to 8 hours, something like that. And I have to say I was enjoying my time quite a lot more this past week than I was previously. I did a lot of complaining last week about the game, about nitpicky things, but the game was doing the things for me that it does very well in my last couple of sessions in play, and you know, that makes me very happy playing it, and I'm very much enjoying it. The choices, fun combat. My character's starting to feel very, very powerful. I'm level 7. I'm still level 7. And yeah, the game does what it does well, incredibly well, probably better than like any other game. So yeah, the game is awesome. As much as I complained about it last week, you know, I do want to reiterate that the game is awesome, and you know, making choices and like doing things and, you know, playing the game is it's really good.
It hits the right notes correctly.
When the game hits, it hits hard.
It does.
When you're like you're presented with difficult and interesting choices, when you're like exploring and like finding secrets and stuff like that, like
Oh yeah.
and like solving puzzles and finding secrets and doing all this stuff. Like the game is awesome in certain respects. Again, I still have my gripes with it, which I went over extensively last week, but the game does a lot of things incredibly well, and when the game is doing its best and feeling good, the game is absolutely amazing and awesome.
Sure.
So.
Oh, absolutely. Again, I haven't played this week because I was doing obviously some other stuff earlier this week, and then I've been focusing on Age of Wonders quite a bit recently. I've really enjoyed playing it again, so kind of just stuck with it. And Baldur's Gate, I'm more than happy to wait on. That's a slow game for me anyway, so it's I'm okay.
There was maybe it's in beta. Just real quick on Age of Wonders, I saw like some patch notes as I was scrolling that they're buffing like the starting position for the last story mission. Sounds like they're trying to make it a little bit easier.
Thank God. I'm trying it again. With all the changes, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this again. We're gonna do this again with all the changes, so I won't hopefully lose to Magic Victory right away. We're gonna try it again. I'm gonna give it another shot, and then if I fail this time, I'll swap to Baldur's Gate. That's my thing. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to swap. So ready to see what I can do, and if I get hysterically trampled, we'll move on. If I don't, and I feel like I'm close, maybe I'll give it one more shot after that. Yeah, but I'm very happy focusing on Age of Wonders again. I really like that game, so definitely happy where I'm at. And Baldur's Gate can patiently wait in the corner with all the other stuff in the corner as I look over there. Like, God, there's a lot over there. Okay, Sea of Stars, 5 minutes. We're not talking about the story of this game, by the way. It's too much. We don't have enough time for it. Do we have a short version of the story? Is there a short version you can share?
I mean, I haven't gotten very far. I'm only like 4 or 5 hours in the game.
Okay,
so.
Where are you in the game? Explain visually.
I'm on the second island. I just did the wind mine dungeon.
Great, we're at the same place. Perfect.
Yeah.
So the story, to put it short and hysterically bad, is you have two main characters. You have Zale and Valair. So Zale and Valair are training to be solstice warriors. They have the powers. They were brought to an island by a great bird or something, and it's pretty rare that they were brought to this island in subsequent months or something. So they've got potential. They've got great potential, and they talk about it a lot at the beginning. So they get to this island, and they're almost ready to get trained as solstice warriors. And the beginning of the game is not exactly this. There's 10 minutes of doing something, and then they go into here's the...
Which was the most point. I didn't get that intro section. They should have just started you as children. I didn't get why they started
it was supposed to be them reminiscing, I guess, about the past. That's what I'm getting. I think that's what it was.
I know that's what it was, but I still, I don't know. I just don't get the point of why they did it that way.
Because they're reminiscing over the campfire. It's just them reminiscing. It's part of the story. It's the story. So they do this beginning section. You walk around and explore, and it's like a tutorial also. And then they go to the campfire and rest, but they reminisce, so you get a vision. It's a flashback. And you play this flashback out where you're Zale and Valair. You play as one of them, obviously. And your friend Garl, and you you go on this little adventure because your Garl says, "Hey, I bet at the full moon you can open this door, Valair." And Valair says, "Sure thing." So full moon opens this door. Obviously they get into a little bit of trouble because they bite off a little more than they can chew. And the Grandmaster, who will be the teacher of our solstice warriors, Zale and Valair, ends up saving them, but Garl gets hurt in the process of trying to fend off these monsters. And the training begins. They train for 10 years. And they train to be solstice warriors. They have to sew and obviously, get strong, learn how to fight, all that stuff, learn magic. After that period, they complete their training. and they have a task. Their first task is to go see this, like, they have to go see this master, the Mist Master, whatever he's called.
Elder Mist.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the name is. The point is he's the Grand Master. So they have to go see the Grand Master to get like the to learn the prophecy. So they go off on their adventure. That's the beginning. That's it. That was the shortened, hysterically probably bad version of it. Anyway, the point is, this game is a classic styled, retro-looking JRPG, turn-based combat. You get like a party of, it seems like the maximum is 3, and actually, I'd be curious if you get any more party members in this game. You have 3 party members total.
In the menu, it looks like there's enough for 5.
It looks like it. I'm curious to see if you get more, but early in the game, you'll get 3. You'll get Zale, Valere, and somebody else. And yeah, I mean, like, it's fun. The game is really fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's got combat's great. A lot of stuff to it.
I love the combat.
Yeah.
I'm on the story. I'm still kind of waiting to see where it goes. I've heard it gets interesting, but it's kind of like generic. Like, you're the chosen one. Go off an adventure so far.
Yeah, prophecy. Go do something. At this point, it's pretty standard.
I love the combat. I love the combat though. It's really good.
Combat's good. The combat's good. It's definitely thought-provoking once you start figuring out all the mechanics, and you get more mechanics especially after seeing Elder Mist. He gives you more mechanics, which add some nice complexity to the combat. And music's good. Actually, I really enjoyed the music in the boss of the mine. That music was kind of funny in the boss fight. I thought that was like funny music for that fight. So music's good. I like the graphics of the game, even though it's retro. It's supposed to look retro. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, the sprite work's really good.
The sprite work is really good. The puzzles, I like the simplicity of the puzzles.
I assume they're gonna get more difficult early in the game, but I appreciate there actually like being some like basic block pushing puzzles and stuff like that. Like, I miss that in video games. Like, I don't know, the dungeon design lately in like any game, but like RPGs, it's just like, it's embarrassing. Like, the puzzles are like walk around a corner and pull a fucking lever, and that's the puzzle. It's like, what? That's not a puzzle.
I like the block moving stuff. It's like, it's basic, but like, it's cool. I like that stuff.
But it's like, just give me a basic block pushing puzzle at least, right? It's like come on, it's not that hard. Like, old school JRPGs used to do this for like Golden Sun and like Tales of Symphonia. Those games had awesome puzzles. Like, why is our level design like so bad these days? Do you think we're really this stupid that we can't solve puzzles? And if we haven't solved it in 2 seconds, you have a fairy in the corner saying, "Hey, you should do this. Hey, that actually gives you the fucking answer to the puzzle." It's like, stop. Like, you can have a mechanic like that, but have me ask for it. Like, if I need a hint, let me press a button that says, "Hey, give me a hint."
Yeah.
Don't have the character in the background just barking the fucking answer to the puzzle at me. Like,
I appreciate simple puzzles like that, because it's a simple puzzle, but at the same time, it's fun to interact with, and you still need to. Sorry, there's like a noise in my room. It's still fun to interact with, and they're not like, they're easy for us, but at the same time, like, it's not just like pull a lever. Like, there's a little bit to it. You got to do a couple actions, but it's not overly complex. I appreciate less complex puzzles that have some interaction to it, like the block pushing ones. I don't like overly complicated. I don't like riddle puzzles, actually. I really don't like riddle puzzles in games that force me to like solve a riddle specifically to move forward. It's a video game. The interactive aspect should be utilized. And that's why block puzzles, I was totally down for it. I was like, oh yeah, it's not overly complicated, but I get to interact with it like a video game should. I don't have to solve a stupid fucking riddle. It's great. Love it. Good design choice on the puzzle. Hopefully I see more of those, even if it's like wind pushing puzzles or just like basic interactive stuff. That's what I want to see in puzzles. Don't want riddles. Don't give me a riddle.
Yeah.
This is not a good medium for that. A book is a good medium for that. Give me something else.
Obviously, we need to stop very shortly, but Sea of Stars so far in the early going, art style is
awesome.
Yeah.
Music is good. Combat is amazing, and the level design, both visually and like from a gameplay perspective, is like quite
Nice and varied and fun so far. So very good first impressions for
Definitely.
Stars for me. It's
and,
cool.
And
I
it's
like
a Game
it.
Pass game, so if you have Game Pass, you should
Game
try
Pass,
it. And
yeah.
if you like turn-based
Other-
combat at all, you should try it.
Otherwise, it's $35,
Which-
which is not inexpensive, but the game is 30 hours apparently, so it's not.
I think,
It's probably worth it to be
I think
honest.
that's a good price point. Now that I'm
Yeah.
playing it, I'm like, okay, this is a good price point here.
Yeah, I would pay. I think I would pay $35 for it. It's not bad.
So anyway, yeah, I know we have the hard stop. So
Yeah.
we'll close here. We'll see everybody next week. We'll talk about maybe CSRs more and some other things that we're doing.
Yep.
Maybe I'll beat the Age of Wonders story mission, which I don't know why they made it this hard. And yeah, we'll go from there. So thanks everyone for stopping by, hanging out, listening to the news, and we will see you next week.
Yep. Have a good weekend, everybody.
See ya.